The main point, though, also interestingly, is this cellular targeted cell death, not just autophagy, but like you said, the killing of damaged cells in the body, which for a bodybuilder, if I was a bodybuilder, and even before, because I was using growth hormone also, that would be my biggest concern. Somebody today was asking me a question on one of my YouTube videos. I don't remember the details, but basically it was saying, actually it was asking about NAC. He was saying, I heard somewhere that N-acetylcysteine could prevent cell apoptosis, which may be dangerous because you could accumulate some of these damaged cells over time. And
because you increase your glutathione levels, right?
Right. So don't cysteine to the glutathione, but actually his idea wasn't completely crazy, because there is this idea that some antioxidants could lead, a lot of antioxidants use could lead to cancer. So for example, vitamin E has been correlated to increased cancer incidence, right?
Oh, really? What is the dose of that? Because I do take my vitamin E every day.
I know you do, yeah. Vitamin E is the only one of the major vitamins that's consistently been related to lung cancer as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
this might have to lower my dose then.
Vitamin E is one of the only vitamins that I don't intentionally take. But you know, it's controversial because it does lower oxidate. It fights against reactive oxygen species.
Yeah.
And for example, it can improve. Actually, not skin cancer, but it has some benefits. But
there's a little bit of blood thinning effect also. So it prevents the formation of clots, which of course you're going to be careful for as a bodybuilder, because your hematocrit is high, and in some cases your platelets are high too.
I didn't know that.
You always have to find a balance, with this stuff. Like you take vitamin K, which takes calcium out of the blood and prevents coronary artery plaque buildup and the metabolism, right? But it also promotes clot formation or clotting factor. And then you take vitamin E to bring the clotting factor. There's so much going on in our bodies. And, I think in 10 years.
Not many people know about that, vitamin K with the clotting. Not many people know.
So my platelets are like always in range, but how powerful my platelets are, I mean, I take a lot of vitamin K, but I also take a decent amount of vitamin E. So hopefully that will balance itself out. But so far, my complete blood, I haven't donated in years, man.
Okay, we're going to talk about, I want to ask you about donations, actually. I forgot to write that down because I have an idea about that. But what I was going to say is this. So the bodybuilders over time, if you're constantly raising mTOR and you're never shutting it down and you're constantly eating protein, your body can't get into that state where it's doing targeted cell death, where it's trying to kill these cells. So the fast is your only real opportunity to do that if you're always full. So it's which is why I respect your approach so much.
Thank you. Yeah. So I tried to do it with myself, and some of my clients are open to it, because not everybody's open to it, right? Every 3 months, and I just noticed a tremendous amount of benefits. And and it put some hair in your chest as well, because the perseverance that you require to finish a week fast. If you want to know, like for the audience, if you want to know if you're mentally capable of doing a contest prep, fast for a week. If you can't make it for a week, you're not suitable to do a contest prep. And I've done this with many of the beginner clients, right? They want to, Steve, I want to do a contest prep. I said, okay, stop eating for a week, show me your blood work. And then, I made it only 3 days. Okay, well, you're not suitable for contest prep then.
That's a great
thing. You don't have the balls, because the last 6 weeks is just going to feel as lethargic, as moody, as tired, and, as deprived as you do on a fast. But that's going to be 6 weeks versus 1 week.
So you bring up an interesting thing before we get to the phlebotomies. I'm curious about, so I was watching an interview of yours today with Dan, the bodybuilder in Thailand, which I never saw.
That's an old one. Yeah, it's an old one.
And
which is the one that we did for the steroids podcast, or the one where we talked about training mostly?
I think it was a short one. He was like in a restaurant and he was just asking, I think maybe the first one you ever did. He was.
I think we did a couple together,
But it was nice because I actually never realized that you're not personally, although you train obviously people for competition, including your wife and including your client, and you're very adept at that. But you personally just like to be muscular and fit and have a low body fat. You're a bodybuilder, but you're not interested in competition personally.
No, not really. I mean, a lot of people think you need to compete, right, to be a bodybuilder, but I don't see the correlation. I mean, if you enjoy training, enjoy eating healthy, enjoy doing your blood work, which is rare, but not impossible, and you like to train for fun. And so I consider my body to be a result of training. I don't train to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And of course, I adapt my training to make the physique complete. But if for whatever reason, I can't be big anymore. Okay, I'll still train, but I'll do something else. I'll do swimming or walking, or I'll stay physically active, but I'll still work out, but maybe not for the purpose of being big, or the being big part is a result of me training this intensely, because I enjoy training balls to the wall, and I did as a natural, and I always wondered, like, why the hell am I not recovering? So you have to really adapt your training protocol to that. Because when you're exposed to the Dorian Yates DVD or VHS, when you're 15, 6 months into the gym, somebody gives you the blood and guts, and you're like, okay, I have to train like this because that's how you get big. And you don't know anything about steroids. And you start training like that, but you have no steroids in your system, and don't have the food in your system either. Yeah, you kind of overtrain really, really fast, But I do enjoy training like that. So.
That's true. You can't do that kind of training without androgens. In fact, when I was young, I was very lucky because I was always interested in strength. So as a teenager, at the same age as you're describing, I was doing West Side Barbell. I was lucky to use the internet well and find West Side Barbells.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
But if I did try to do what Dorian was, it would not have worked without androgens. Actually.
No,
and
it worked up until. Yeah, it worked up until a certain point, and then, of course, after 4 weeks, you're completely broken, and then you're like, man, I can't sustain this, and nobody else is training like this, so maybe I should try the Arnold protocol. And do you do like, push-pull legs, basically you split like Arnold, but twice a week with 1 million sets, and that didn't work either. So you have to go through the grinder and figure out what works. Because 20 years ago, we didn't have the internet, right, or not as much information.
How often do you do deloads, by the way? Not many bodybuilders do that often.
I think every 6 to 8 weeks now.
Interesting.
Yeah. I reached that point very fast, and it's kind of sucks. I think I'm getting older.
So you always train for failure in your at high volume or at high weight?
High weight, low volume. Yeah, and I am getting more and more selective on how I schedule my training and how I program it and how I build up to my working sets. And because I know if I do too many sets, I just reach overtraining faster, and then I need to deload faster. So this time I was really grinding for 6 weeks. And then, last Sunday I was like, man, I'm broken. I'm going to take a week off.
now, I hear you talk about, do you supplement iron also?
No,
okay, good. But I hear you talk about the iron a lot, and I understand its importance it gives a lot of vitality and stuff like that. But I personally recently got into doing phlebotomies. I was just scheduling my next appointment today.
Okay.
Because it seems, I came across a couple of articles that obviously this is not very well-grounded, but there's some speculation that iron levels may be correlated to a couple of disease symptoms, including which was surprising to me, as well as not liver disease. So liver disease for sure, because of the iron accumulation in the liver itself seems to be negative. Yeah. And so as well as a third disease, like I'm not thinking of Alzheimer's disease, neurodegenerative diseases. So recently I was always trying to eat a low iron diet, but it's hard for me because I eat liver. I like to eat liver.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of iron and a lot of vitamin A also. Yeah.
So that's why I've been donating blood recently. Now for you're eating a lot of fish.
Fish and eggs right now. Yeah, I was off the eggs for about a year because I had a food intolerance. And eggs always, the first problem that people get with food is eggs because of the food industry. So you take them out for a while and you can eat them for a while and you have to take them out for a while. It's annoying. But eggs are tasty, so you end up, eating 10 whole eggs or 10 eggs per day. 10 egg whites and 2, 3, 4, 5 whole eggs. It's it's a lot, but it's a good source of protein.
How do you feel the food intolerance? How do you notice it?
You just notice indigestion, and acid reflux and gas, and then and if the problem is it happens like a few hours later, right? So you have your eggs in the morning, and then at 4 o'clock you get indigestion. Is that the meal that you had at 3 o'clock, or is it the eggs that you had in the morning? But it's usually the egg, so that's like the first thing we take out. So beef is only in the weekend. It usually comes in the form of a steak or a hamburger.
So what's the sandwich you have? You say you have the same cheat meal every weekend.
I'm a very boring guy. I wear the same clothes, and I have the same hairstyle, and I go for the same sandwiches every weekend because they're good. And like in Asia, everything is like it's a little bit bastardized. The food is a little bit or Asianized. So it's finding an honest meal, like an honest Western meal, is difficult. So when you do find one that's fairly priced, because there's plenty of places where you can get a great meal, but it's triple the price, right? And I don't want to spend that much money on food. I'm already spending a ton of food or money on food during the week. So we go to the sandwich place, and it's just every Sunday we go there for lunch. And we've been going there for a year straight. So it's like, every weekend, 54 weekends that we've been going there. And we've got the only membership card that restaurant has. We just go there, eat the same. Yeah, we just go there, eat the same food because it's good. And the value for money is great. And it never tastes old, and then sometimes you go to another place, you have another sandwich, you're like, man, it's not as good as my favorite Lucky 13,
Yeah, exactly. My wife gets tired of me because I'm so disciplined and doing the same thing I can eat the same salad every day and the same meal.
Right.
But it's much more useful when you're a bodybuilder because that's really getting you to your goals. I guess for me it is also just for health reasons. But what I want to ask you about is, are you personally concerned about the mercury from the fish that you eat?
There's, as soon as you start, I did a little video about this, about the supplements, right? That people dive in too much. And you can dive into anything. Like I've talked with Derek from Plates More Dates, and he asked me, are you worried about the carnitine and the TMAO? Right. And then the nitrates, you're scared for the amines, the combined. The more you dive into it, the more scared you get, and the more opportunity you find not to do anything, to the point you get paralysis by analysis, and then you don't do anything. Yeah, you can dive into everything, and it just makes you more confused. And at one point I said, you know what, I know a lot, and knowing more is just going to take me away from my goals, because I can really the mercury, right? I eat sea bass and salmon. Now both are wild caught, so I spend a gazillion amount of dollars on this food. And the eggs, that's also free range, but it's how much it's really free range in Thailand, I'm not really sure. Yeah, and I worry, you eat beef, you have to worry, and bacon, and you're worried about the nitrates and the TMAOs, and then you're worried about the mercury, and then and the pesticides and the antibiotics, and we're going to die anyway.
Let me do this. So this will be funny.
We're going to die. Yeah.
Let me do this. This will be funny. So truly, if you want to be paralyzed by analysis, you can even see this in a basic setting, not even in supplements, just by macros. So number one, protein, kidney disease, as well as cellular aging. For sure, there's a lot of research. Number two, we're going to, actually, let's do carbs first. Number two, carbs. Now, in one way, they say simple carbs can increase the small LDL particle count, so you can get more small LDL and get atherosclerosis, but also you can get diabetes. And also, it can cause early aging of the brain. And
liver damage.
Ketogenic diets maintain the
liver damage.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Now we go into fats. Now this is even more. I got it. It's funny. So saturated fat. Okay, heart disease, LDL, cholesterol. You're screwed. Now what about polyunsaturated fats? Now there's another group of people. Most famous guy doing this is Ray Peat, which say that the polyunsaturated fats, including omega-3s, are more susceptible to being oxidized and therefore can promote cancers in the body. So you literally have no food group. And if you want vegetables, just forget about carbs. Vegetables in general, as Steve just said, you have nitrites, which will 5% of them convert to you have nitrates, which 5% will convert to nitrites. So you can eat nothing.
Just fast. And you got about 3 months left on this fast, as long as you drink water, which this water also has plastics, right?